Hi everyone, it's Tatiana, your NYC plant mama, and welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk about what's growing on my balcony. More specifically, the produce that I'm container gardening out on my balcony now that it's warmer in NYC. And honestly, I'm holding it right now because this is my prized possession. These are my butternut squash. Can you believe how much it's grown? It's actually a little crazy. So a little less than a month ago now, I actually had seeds from a butternut squash. Our neighbor very nicely came by and said they had extra butternut squash. Here, have this one, they can't use it. My roommate made some delicious butternut squash soup. I was like, let's save the seeds and see what happens. And I left them in a little Tupperware container just after we rinsed them off, like, oh, I'll deal with them later. And they were a little moist still, and I left like the top of it slightly open. And I looked at it after like 3 or 4 days and it had sprouted. There were seedlings everywhere, there were roots. It was actually crazy and super cool. I was very, very excited and I was like, oh my god, this is a cool way to do it. It kind of created its own little greenhouse in the container, which was super awesome. And they rooted and they sprouted, they germinated, they were ready to go into a container. I haven't done much gardening, and by much I mean any gardening. I don't have a lot of space for it. I don't have a garden. All I have outside is a balcony that's probably 11 feet by 4 feet. So it's not super big, but it's really nice to have. And we've been putting some plants out there, which is awesome. So I just put the seeds there and kind of forgot about them. It looked kind of sparse and weird. And then maybe a week later, they had already gotten fuller, and this has just been, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks of growth now. This was honestly so unexpected. We did not expect these to grow and look so full and beautiful at all, especially not in a pot this big. And it is really, really exciting to see, especially when you just feel like you did it from scratch. I have no idea if I'll ever be able to get actual butternut squash from this, especially because I was doing some research and they sprawl out, kind of similar to a pumpkin. I was reading somewhere that it takes sometimes 12 feet of space that they like to sprawl out and grow. So I don't have that, unfortunately. So what I'm gonna do, I am going to split this up into another container. I have my last big container here, so I'm thinking I can split these up into 2 so they can at least not suffocate each other and get a little more room going on and hopefully continue to grow. But I really don't know if I'll ever be able to get fruit from it, or vegetable? Squash a fruit or vegetable? I think it's a fruit because of the seeds on the inside or something like that. I don't know. If you guys know, you can tell me. I'm just content to have 2 very full bushes on my balcony because it looks super cute and it looks so full and it's just so exciting. Are you guys proud of me? I'm proud of myself. And I also want to pull out a couple saplings from here too, maybe to gift to people or to send, because I think they're really going to be suffocating each other in here and eventually kill each other with all the roots. So I don't want that to happen. I want to at least give them more of a chance to live. So I'm going to split them up. But before I do that, I want to quickly show you all the other produce things that I'm growing. I feel like I'm going to leave my apartment for a little bit and my roommate's not here, so I don't want to plant too many of the seeds that I have and risk them not being taken care of or watered. So I have collected some seeds from peppers, and I have basil and cilantro and a couple of different herbs that I want to plant, but I'm going to wait until I know I'll be here and can tend to them a little more. But I did plant, so here again, butternut squash, can you believe it? Oh my gosh, it's so full, it's so big, it's so great. It smells amazing. And you guys are really gonna be proud of me for this. This is sweet potato. So my roommate and I had gotten sweet potatoes at the start of the quarantine, like, yes, this will be a great thing to eat, to last, and we just did not eat them for months. At least 3 months we were like, maybe we should eat them. And they were saran plastic wrapped, so they weren't really going bad per se, but we started to notice that they were growing those little eyes and kind of little roots, and I was like, maybe I should just chop those parts off and plant them, because we eventually did use them to make sweet potato fries. They were still good, they hadn't gone bad, luckily, but I did take off those little notches and I cut maybe golf size pieces off, and it was the ends kind of with the skin, and I had little round discs of sweet potato, probably about this big or so and pretty thin around. And I just put them in soil, you know, and I was like, let's see what happens. This has been about a week, and look how much growth I have in this one. I have 2 pots of it actually. So I've got tons of growth in here, which is just so freaking exciting. And then I also, in this other container, have a little bit of sweet potato growing as well. I'm hoping that the other sweet potatoes I've put in here will continue to try to sprout. You can kind of see them when I poke away at it a little bit. You see the orange of the pieces I stuck in. Again, I have no idea, because I have no space and only these small containers. I have no idea if I'll ever actually have anything to harvest, and I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to produce gardening or a lot of outdoor gardening in general, but I just love to see things grow and to use some kitchen scraps and free things just to produce more nature and more beautiful greenery around my apartment. So that has been a win, regardless of if I'll have sweet potatoes or squash or whatever. That would just be a total win, and I'll let you guys know if I do have anything to harvest, which I doubt. But for now, I have super cute little green things going on. So I wanted to share that with you guys before I split up this little guy. So I'm just gonna dump this out. I'm kind of interested to see how the roots will look, honestly. There were so many seeds that were just on top of each other and falling all over the place. There it is. Oh shit. Look at the roots, guys. Can you see it? Isn't that awesome? I'm so impressed with this thing. So you can see like a lot of aerial roots kind of forming up close too, because I told you I just piled these seeds in here. There were maybe like 50 or so. I see some things under the leaves, but I feel more so that it's the dirt. But anyway, can you guys see how it's starting to look like some things down here are yellow and dying, and it's like squash seeds that didn't even do anything because they were kind of outfought by everyone else. It's like survival of the fittest, and I just want as much of these to prosper as possible and to kind of keep everything in the pot that will succeed. So when it comes to container gardening, I've heard this from people before, and I think it's such a good message, is you want to keep what's in your container garden to exactly what will grow in there. Not too much and not too little. If you have too much in there, they're gonna fight with each other and suffocate each other. Guys, when I did the cactus, I was wearing these gloves, and I swear I feel things in my gloves still, even though I washed them. Pretty easy to split apart. I hope I'm not damaging too much. Okay. There, that was super easy to do. I am going to split ones away that are falling out anyway. So you've got like this little guy. I'm definitely damaging some root systems here, but I think they will keep growing. So I've got this little guy. This little guy I just murdered. Is there anything that you guys have grown in the garden that has actually surprised you coming along? Do you do it from kitchen scraps? Do you do it from seeds? I mean, we've all seen those viral Facebook videos and videos on social media that are like how to grow an avocado tree, how to grow a lemon tree from the lemon seed, all that stuff. And I'm fully aware that those are just for clicks. It'll take you a long time to get anything to fruit or flower in that situation. But butternut squash, man, I mean, those seeds were strong. Again, I'm not a container gardener. This is my first time ever doing anything like this. So I don't really know if these will expand now that it's between the 2 pots. My boyfriend kept saying, don't split them up, they look so beautiful. And I was like, yeah, I agree with you, but as soon as it's too full, they're gonna kill each other. This is already looking a little, you know, so I don't really know if I should keep pulling some away and plant them over here. I'm kind of doing it. I'm just hoping for the best to fill up over here with these little ones. Kind of like a mini root separation propagation thing. So they are just all over each other. But again, last time with the seeds, I didn't put them any which way when I just threw them in this pot and was like, let's see what happens. I like to let nature do its thing. It's gonna grow, let it grow. This is way easier than I thought it would be though. And I'm not stressing about it because it's not a house plant that I'm feeling very strongly about or anything. Maybe I did them way worse. I always have that fear, you guys know that. They were doing so well, just doing what they were doing. It looks like an animal was digging in here, but it was just me, the human. I feel that a lot of these weren't fully rooted to begin with because there was barely any space for them. So they feel very loose in the pot anyway. So I'm just trying to add some extra soil. But there's one. It's not the prettiest, I know. But it wasn't the prettiest when I started with these things. So I'm not gonna give up. I finished this one that looks kind of shitty, but that's okay. This one doesn't look as bad. Look at the roots though. I don't know if you guys can see this. Really full on this whole area, and look at those roots. So I'm gonna fill this up with dirt. Was this the best way to do this? I didn't do any research. It's weird, I'm a Libra, so I don't like to make decisions, but when it comes to gardening, I'm incredibly impulsive, but at the same time, I overthink every little decision I make. I know I can sometimes put out a lot of videos where I'm stressing about stuff, but I really need to like chill when it comes to my plants and all of that. Because at the end of the day, we love them, we really do, but they're plants. They bring us an incredible amount of joy, but it's not going to be the end of the world if they don't make it, you know? And I think I'm going to give this some fertilizer as well because I think it's been a month since I fertilized this, if I even ever did. I'm hoping that as they continue to get bigger, they'll continue to spread in the pot and now they'll have more room in their individual pots as opposed to being stuffed in the other one. There. There's this one. And this one. So again, doesn't look as full. I know I rehomed them or whatever you want to call it. I think actually I might put just some small ones together. It's my little things here. I really hope I didn't just murder all of my plants. I can buy another butternut squash and I can do this again now that I know how. I've mixed up my fertilizer in this milk carton from my recycling bin because the measurements on my fertilizer say to add it per gallon and this is a half gallon, so it's just a little easier to do the math. So I'm just using a normal potting mix as always. I haven't had any additions of perlite or anything to it. I know that's not a super popular thing to do in the plant world, but I will say for me, it's been successful. I find that my plants seem to be doing okay in it and they have fine drainage. I know this isn't a popular opinion, but I find that plants can grow in many types of medium. I mean, you have weeds that just grow like crazy wherever. With certain things, I think it's totally fine. With other plants, I do know that they have more specific needs. I do want to note again that Black lives still matter. We still need to talk about it. We still need to continue to spread the message, spread petitions, keep protesting, keep fighting for justice, keep fighting for change. It might not feel necessarily relevant or trendy, but guess what? It is. It's still affecting people and there's still not enough change for things to have been made right. I mean, we're talking about new people that are dying every single day, and that is just shocking. And we're also talking about people that have died a long time ago and still don't have justice. So let's keep talking about it, do what we can. You know, it's fine to talk about other things, but let's talk about it too. Let's not completely forget everything and all the progress and all the work that's been done just because it's summer or there's other things going on or other newsworthy events or whatever. Again, this is just store-bought fertilizer that you add to water. When they're out on my balcony, they've been drying out super fast. So I have been watering them basically every day or every other day, the butternut squash, because they will wilt in the heat and in the sun. And it has been raining a lot as well, so I have been letting them soak that up. These are heavy, man. Thanks so much for joining me to check out what I'm growing on my balcony and what I'm gardening in my containers right now. Thanks for watching me butcher this pretty plant, and hopefully it will continue to grow and get really big. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Remember, Black lives still matter.